Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot Readings here on the Black and Orange channel.
That's right.
It is the first day of 2023, and we are blessed with Miss Sarah's here.
Hello, loves.
It's always a good day when Sarah's here. So, oh, thank you, Roxy. Roxy likes the cover. Good. All right. There were technical glitches yesterday, but the link to yesterday's live stream, if you are interested in going back to see it, I've pinned to the top of the chat. I'll put it in the description box. And yeah, so but we'll get there. We're starting the year in a Mercury retrograde, and so that's actually the first thing we're going to talk about. But I do want to mention that 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange goes to Feeding America at feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country. That is an ongoing thing since the channel was first monetized until today. And since Miss Sarah is familiar with my financial situation, do I or do I not actually give 10% of my income to Feeding America?
Yes, you do.
There we go. And if you're watching this on replay, hello. Miss Sarah was kind enough to put all the questions in the description box, and is going to timestamp as we go. And today, for you wonderful people, just so you know, we're kind of burying the lead. We have Miss Sarah ran across quite the article, and it's kind of a game changer. You may look at Christianity just a little bit differently.
Yes.
So sorry, I'm just trying to see if this will help. It won't. It just won't help. There's nothing I can do. All right.
If I blink. I'm getting random low internet things. If I blink out, I'll be right back. I'll toggle and go back on. So.
Okay. Honestly. Could you post a link to the chart giveaway?
No. Yesterday's. It's in yesterday's description box, and yesterday will actually now show up in the regular listing of all previous days.
Yeah.
Episodes. So it's all there.
But if we could we'll find that link. We'll put it in today's description box. All kind of fun stuff in today's description box. And what she's talking about is, it's kind of hard to see. This is a 2-page PDF that I made, and thank you. And come on. It's basically, these are the months of the year. This is 1 year on one page. This is how actually I like to these are the calendars I use anyway, because I like this format, so I can see the whole year on one page like this. But it has everything in yellow. Mm-hmm. There's just no making this thing. There we go. Now you'll be able to see it a little better. Everything in yellow is Mercury retrograde. And then I've got important movements in kind of what's going on this year as far as planets. A lot of planets are changing sign. Outer planets are changing sign, especially March. March is a big deal. Matter of fact, there's talk that March of 2023 may be the biggest astrological month of the decade, because Pluto's moving into Aquarius on the 23rd, but you've got Saturn changing sign, you've got Mars changing sign, and then coming up, you've later on, you've got Jupiter changing sign in May, you've got the North Node changing sign in July. So this part of the year is going to be big changes. So so you'll have this handy, and we can talk about it as we go. And on the second page is like a legend, which I tried to just use text where I could, but sometimes in a couple of places it wouldn't fit. So I had to use some symbols, but for funsies I gave you all the symbols. So all the astrological symbols, all the symbols of the planets, and then the symbols for major aspects right there. All right. So that's for free.
I was able to find it. So it is showing.
Excellent.
In the
Thank you, lucky girl. Above and beyond as usual. Okay. If you have been, I mentioned this just in passing, if you have been feeling, if you found that your New Year's was a little emotional, perhaps a little fraught, a little intense, I should say, it could be astrological, because last night at around midnight, basically, it was like 12:25 Eastern, Venus, which is what and how you love, which was conjunct Pluto last night, right around midnight. So for most, so if the emotions were, because Pluto's all that intensity, and then Venus is what and how you love, and you put those two together, when let's just say it's a little intense. When you have a couple where you've got one person's Venus is falling on the other person's Pluto, the bond tends to be a tad intense. Just a little. So that's, if you've been feeling emotional, that could be a big part of it. There are some good aspects coming up this week, which we'll go into day by day. But bless you. What I wanted to start off with was, I'll have to share this again. Share screen. Mercury. Hang on.
there you go. One of us paused. Here we go.
No, I lost internet for a second.
Okay.
But it came back. Mercury retrograde is kicking my rear end. And it seems to be kicking quite a few people's rear ends. So I went and looked. And there's a reason, if I think for specifically for Americans, there could be a reason why it's kicking our rear ends. Because if I go down to this transit chart, let's zoom in. Let's zoom into the astrology. Let's zoom into the astrology. Okay. I know it's, for some of you, it's like, oh gosh, it's the weird symbols and this weird stuff and the, okay, hang on. I'm talking about one thing. It'll be okay. Mercury is about Mercury, which is, it's like a Venus, it's like the Venus symbol with wearing a hat. It's the Venus symbol wearing a stylish little hat. Okay. Mercury is how you communicate. It's communication. Mostly can involve technology and all this kind of stuff. All right. And it is in retrograde right here. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And this is, say again?
I was thanking Kat for her donation.
Kat, that would work too. This is Venus. This is Pluto. So this is that conjunction. Mm-hmm. They were in the same place as we're having our Pluto return. So yeah, it's been very intense. But Mercury right here is at 23 degrees, 17 minutes of Capricorn. Okay. If you go across the chart, look, we've got Venus in the stylish hat. Mm-hmm. Directly across at 24 degrees, 11 minutes.
Well, that's fine.
So this is exactly opposite Mercury in the US chart. And when you've got an opposition, what it does is it's like being on a seesaw. Mm-hmm. And normally when Mercury was moving forward, we would have found it meant that communications would be more powerful, and then less, and then more, and then so it would be a little unsteady, but not necessarily bad. And we go into retrograde 4 times a year. I mean, we're used to a certain amount of disruption for Mercury, but this one, because it's in retrograde, So it's, you can kind of, Mercury in retrograde, I get kind of a sense of, it's like scraping the floor as it moves backwards. It doesn't like moving backwards. It wants to rush forward, because think how fast Mercury's moving, right? Mm-hmm. But it's being scraped backwards. So the one side of that seesaw mm-hmm. is being scraped out of a line, like. So we're over here with the U.S. Mercury going, wait, don't do that. Stop. And that's what's going on. And that's why in the U.S., Mercury is kicking our rear ends. I hope that makes some sense. When does Mercury go direct? January 18th. I know.
We're here for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it help? It'll be in the morning, 8:12 Eastern time on the 18th. Anyway, and then you got shadow periods on the other end where things will have to kind of go back to normal. But and this website is astro-seek, SEEK, astro-seek, which is a really, I mean, when I want a transit chart, this is where I go. So astro-seek right there. All right, so giving you a heads up on that. So we just kind of expect disruptions for a couple more weeks. We'll be okay. We will get through it. It'll be all right. Okay.
Thank you, lucky girl.
Oh, I'm glad I could help, Linda. Thank you, lucky girl. You're so amazing. Anyway, okay. Yes.
All right, y'all. I don't know what y'all did last night. I don't know what your plans are. But it was apparently wild in Florida. So let's go to Mar-a-Lago for a minute. Just not physically, because I don't have enough Lysol, but just in yeah, at 13 minutes in. Okay. Last night at the annual Mar-a-Lago New Year's Eve bash, Trump had, quote, media availability slots in the evening to be interviewed by major news sources. Not one major outlet showed. Not Fox, not even Newsmax. Nobody. As expected, he ranted on Truth about how horrible they are and how their ratings are tanking. Is this a sign of how 2023 is going to continue? Are all the big boys just going to stop? Yeah. Oh, Deborah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very sweet of you.
Thank you. Wow.
So yeah, are all the major news sources sort of done with the same old song and ketchupy dance? So
so lonely. He's so lonely.
Lucky girl says, I don't care. Do you? Oh,
I loved earlier. Somebody said, and thank you again, Deborah. Thank you. Makes a huge, huge difference. Kathy Rollins was saying Melania was wearing pink aluminum foil. I'm amazed she showed up.
I think she was contractually obligated.
Yeah, Ava Braun had to fulfill her contract. Yes, Cat Shepherd. Don Julio got ghosted.
That is hysterical.
Ooh. Death of the Strength card.
Oh.
Julia Worcester. He's just a lonely boy. Sorry, Paul Onk.
Oh, yeah, Mel Broussard. There's.
Can you read that out loud? Because that was good.
This is Sarah, girl. You got to get the big gulps of Lysol, like the 50. Yeah.
55-gallon drum. Yeah. Maybe dunk him in it, except you have to, like, by the collar. I don't know if he was going to try to find ways to write off last night's ballroom thingy, what's it? But he can't really write it off as a campaign event if the news media doesn't show up.
Yeah. And none of the big boys showed.
Well, he got so much free publicity when he was first running because people thought he was a buffoon. And the problem is that the more he was out there and able to spew his bile, the more people, who, I don't know, just blankety blank, they decided they liked the cut of his jib. Is this more to come? Oh my gosh, these are cards of everything falling apart. Everything falling apart. And there's not a king here. There's not a queen. There's not an emperor, an empress. There isn't even major arcana. This is pathetic. Which is what he is. So
yes. Rob Dean. Not even a correspondent from my weekly reader showed up. It was past our bedtime. I remember weekly readers. Did you have those in school, in elementary school?
I can't remember.
We would get these like little printed, they're little 4 or 5 page folded newspaper things, and it was at elementary schools nationwide. And you would go and it'd be all the extremely homogenized news and little short stories and stuff for like littles. So not even weekly reader showed up to ask him anything.
Oh, we're going to talk about Rudy's little video at the. We're going to get there. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now, actually, I'm going to move a question up real quick.
I'm just so grateful for you. I am so grateful for you. And I am grateful for all of you. Thank you. This last year has been really good because you guys have been here and you've kept me company and we've gone through so much. And now we're starting a brand new year of blankety. That's an adjective. Yes, Allison. Say what?
I said that's an adjective. Blankety. That's it.
Yeah. Allison says Scholastic News was also a no-show.
Right. This is true. Now, there is one news outlet that did show. It was not Weekly Reader or Scholastic News. But at the end of the night, Trump granted an interview to Palm Beach Report, which is a very small local outlet. And at one point, he promptly walked away in a huff and stomped off, acting a fool. So let's set the scene. Former president, they were talking, and he talks about how he hoped that, the Russia-Ukraine war would get straightened out very quickly. And, he claimed that he received some poll numbers about 2024, and it looked fantastic. And
Lying.
the U.S.
Liar.
Yeah, and the
Sorry.
U.S. needed a strong border, and we need it now. But then the interviewer asked him about DeSantis's call for an investigation on COVID vaccines and whether or not he supported a national abortion ban, and Trump sort of sidestepped those and whatever. But what really got him, Mr. Trump, seeing as how this week is the second anniversary of the January 6th violence and alleged coup attempt against the United States Capitol, how do you think that should be observed? Well, that didn't quite. That went over about as well as you thought it would. Whoopsies.
And how did this mature genius respond?
Stop.
Oh, it's so pathetic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man. And didn't he complain that the U.S. is a third world country?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's part of the next thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Do we have a question
while we were
on that?
talking about the news, we've got a question on that. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
No,
but as far as this goes, I mean, like, he's like, if excuse me, none of the big guys will talk to him. He's avoiding questions. Is there any point of anybody putting a microphone in front of him anymore? I mean, how is he going to handle debates or anything else in this election cycle if he can't answer anything?
What did Lynott say?
Picture this, Sicily, 1922. Yes.
National Enquirer. Mel Broussard. How about the National Enquirer?
Fire, yeah. I'm down with that.
Yeah, he can't stand up to anything. Knight of Cups. 5 of Cups. King of Cups. 6 of Cups. The energy, what it feels like, honestly, and what the cards are saying is he's not going to have to worry about that because he's not going to be in a debate. He's going to have some problems. He's going to be busy, let's say, traveling for legal reasons.
I'm down with this.
And and it just permanently sticks in his craw that Joe Biden is the president. Thank you, Uncle Joe, and thank you everybody who voted. So he thinks he's still able to kick down the cups and look how important I am. But if he got into any kind of debate, they would just run circles around him.
Mm-hmm.
On the left, they would just take him apart.
They probably take him apart on the right too at this point in time. I mean, there's not a whole lot left. So,
I think we're all enjoying the them taking each other apart on the right.
Yes, I totally am renewing my subscription to this season of Schadenfreude. So, I'm down.
These are some covers you frame and keep.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Okay, so at 24:25. Okay, so while he gave his rousing speech about how everything has gone to crap since he left office, we're a third world country. Everything is horrible. Yes.
As he's standing in a tux in a ballroom.
At his private supper club ballroom place, yes.
Right. So it's not actually his. I mean, it's a rental property because he's not actually that rich and he's massively in debt and he's the worst businessman ever. Yeah, third world in a tux in a ballroom. We are a third world country.
Mm-hmm.
So you're one of the autocrats, kleptocrats. So you're saying you're one of the kleptocrats. Okay. All right. A little honesty there.
Well, I mean, we've established that the media is done with him. How much longer are the regular people going to give him an audience at this point? Because it's the same. It's not. Again, it's just it's the words aren't matching, anything. So.
Ooh.
I like ooh. Hang on, let me make you bigger again.
Isolation, death of the past. Where's the money going? Because if it's going to DeSantis in Florida or somebody else, it's not going into his coffers. And this is a big old sort of truth, which kind of goes along with the card for the reading, which is the investigator, the prosecutor, the legal stuff. And this is the end of an era. Exactly. This is the cleanup when it's all done.
Cleanup on Isle Mango.
Say again?
Said cleanup on Isle Mango. So, yes.
This is, the party is over. And it's time to clean the floor, sweep the floor, and the police are knocking at the door and they'd like a word.
Yeah. Wow. Yay. Wow.
Yeah. If somebody was asking me, how's my year going to go? Is there a truth you're hiding? Is there a little something you've been because there's some scrutiny over that truth, and I think there might be some kind of, I don't know, change. End of the old ways. You can't get much more final. End of, this is the death card, and then this is end of an era, end of a chapter, end of a book, moving on. Let it go. It's all going away.
Mel, he can't sage it himself because he would be knocked out on the ground. So he would sage himself out if he tried to clean things up. So,
if he tried to sage, if Donald Trump touched some sage, he'd just pass out.
Yeah.
You just melt. The ectoplasm.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's like if the Wicked Witch was orange instead of green. Melting.
Okay. But he's not that sweet. He's not made of sugar.
No. 2850.
Oh, so I've got to throw this in. Teresa Ford says, I think someone should come out with Schadenfreude flavored microwave popcorn. That'd be so rich.
Yes. Tastes like somebody else's bad decisions. So,
somebody you don't like's bad decisions.
Yeah. So around 10 last night on Eastern time, local time, Rudy posted a live video of him enjoying the festivities in a half-empty, including the staff, Mar-a-Lago ballroom. He was presumedly well into his cups as he announced the year wrong, saying we were in 2023 going into 2024. All joking aside, is Rudy headed for voluntary or involuntary hospitalization this year? Because he was that as we would say here, he was that toe up at 10. That's like a 2:00 a.m. on New Year's type of toe up, not a 10. That's a bit, yeah.
Yes, in my travels, I have come. I think it's generally referred to as he was off his face at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
The fool! Look, it's Rudy. Cards are on point. Page of Pentacles, Emperor, Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, King of Swords. Well, I don't have medical here. He's still trying to make money. He's still trying to ingratiate himself. He still thinks Trump has money. Oh, foolish man.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
That is absolutely
and he thinks
hysterical.
Yeah, and he thinks that this is the last meal ticket he's got.
Well.
This is legal problems. Doesn't Rudy have some legal problems?
Well, he's is losing his law license. So
that would do it. Big legal problems. But I'm not getting hospitalization.
Lynette, honey, at this point, he's past pickled. He's entirely distilled. So, yeah.
Yeah. Rudy. Out there communicating. He exposed how empty that ballroom was.
Oh, yeah. Just because of where he was sitting. He wasn't sitting against the wall. He had his back to the ballroom. And by 10 o'clock, people should be there. I mean, people are eating dinner and stuff before everything. So, I mean, whoopsies.
He still thinks he's a goer. He still thinks he's got a, Trump will rise again, and he is so delusional. Seriously, it isn't just that I don't like Trump. He is delusional, and the past is the past. That's his problem. But, dude, if I think you've got a drinking problem, and this is the card I pull for your final outcome, that's not exactly an AA meeting. It's the anti-AA meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily getting hospital, but he's on the wrong track. He's going to stay on the wrong track, and you did it to yourself.
Really? Yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well,
and just for the record, just my opinion. As a side note, which channel has Anderson Cooper and what's his name for the New Year's Eve, rocking New Year's Eve?
CNN.
Okay. Is it? I don't know. I thought it was on one of the major networks, but I don't know. But they have this rocking New Year's Eve thing, and I forget what's the other guy's name.
I know you're talking about. I think I saw something about that too.
Yeah. Well, after the drunken fiascos of some of the previous times they've done this, Andy Cohen, thank you, Renier. Andy Cohen and anyway, so whoever it is, CNN or whatever major network, has said no drinking on camera.
Yeah.
Preferably no drinking at all, but no drinking on camera at New Year's Eve.
Because he used to do it with Kathy, what's her face? Whose name I can't remember, the one with red hair.
Griffin?
Anderson Cooper did. Mm-hmm. And that's
Yeah.
what she would get a little bit. And then Cohen was messed up last year. So.
Yeah. ABC. Thank you, Denise. ABC. See, if with your help, I can piece together a basic story. I need some help. And I don't drink at all, But anyway, there was apparently toward the end of it, Andy Cohen was like, I need some tequila. And it became like the story of the night was they weren't supposed to be drinking.
Yeah.
And it's like, way to set the tone, because more and more people don't drink. They're either recovering or they didn't drink in the first place. And you don't need to be drunk to have a good time. And, so I thought that was, I think it's, you're not going on spring break in college.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Yeah. And my apologies, Julie. I didn't realize that Kathy didn't drink. So my apologies.
So yeah. I thought that was a shame, but that's just me. And I'm sure there are many, many other people who didn't care and it didn't hit them that way. I just, as somebody who doesn't drink, I just, and you put me at a concert or somewhere and I'm up dancing. I stone sober. I'm up dancing. I'm up, So, yeah, you don't need it. It's not required. And, but anyway. Then again, back in the day, one of my favorite series of movies, The Thin Man,
mm-hmm.
with William Powell and Myrna Loy, the amazing Myrna Loy. Literally the press for like the third or fourth movie was William Powell drinks a glass of milk. Really? Okay. Anyway, moving on.
All right. Well, we are leaving the cursed ballroom of yesteryear, because it was last year. So okay. At 37:45. We're still.
I'm sorry. I made noise. You broke up. Sorry.
No, so we're still in Trump land though. So now
is that foul stench I smell? But go ahead.
The bog of eternal stench. Now, wouldn't you know, Trump refused to sign a bill into law a week before January 6th that would use tax records to delve deeper into researching money laundering and other criminal activity. Coincidence?
I'll pull 3 cards, but I don't know that I need all 3. 1 second. Sorry.
You're good.
Oh, good. We have fellow Thin Man fans. Myrna Loy with the bomb. She was so great. But anyway. Nikki, that man's in my drawers. The police were searching the house. Mean money laundering? You mean fruits of labor? Look, it's a thief card. Look, it's a merchant card. Look, it's legal decisions. Not even a little. Is this a coincidence? No, nay.
Whoopsies.
No.
Well, that didn't take long. Okay. And we have one last. Go ahead.
Hang on. Bonnie says, how do you know what happened last night at Mar-a-Lago? Because there are records from people's cell phones. It's not from the
Yes.
big news. It's Rudy's his own video of himself, and it's people with their
And
cell
people
phone.
taking video of Trump talking. Yes.
Right. So basically, the Trump New Year's shindig got the same amount of media coverage as Brenda and Chad's New Year's Eve party in random upscale, podunk or random upscale neighborhood anywhere USA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I am here for it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Valerie. Dashiell Hammett is my second cousin twice removed. Took me a while to read his whole oeuvre. Nick and Nora are based on him and Lillian Hellman. Oh, wow, I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay. At 41 even. Now this, we all know how Trump hates the mainstream media. You know, fake news, blah, 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 blah. Well, it came out that his Save America PAC subscribes to everybody. The New York Times, WaPo. Inserts every liberal news outlet here. And that's how his office people inform him of what's going on that he needs to know or what not. So, does he know this? I mean, is he just that ignorant? Is he being babysat that much at this point?
Well, for what it's worth, they all do it. You can go look at take Glenn Beck, please.
No, thank you.
Glenn Beck railing against the mainstream media and what's on the desk in front of him.
Yeah.
They all of these right-wing people, they all do it. Mainstream media, the worst thing ever. This article from the New York Times says that Democrats are bad, therefore we agree.
Yeah.
The Sun. I'm pretty sure that Trump supposedly reads the New York Times every day. He's old school. He reads physical newspapers.
Okay.
He reads physical stuff. But if they're not saying nice things about him, Mr. Narcissism, because we do know that he's literally being followed around, even on the golf course. There's a woman following Trump around who often has a printer in her golf cart so she can print out any positive reporting about Trump and show it to him. When I have said in the past that he has a blown glass ego that's about this big,
she doesn't get paid enough.
And if there isn't enough in the news, she literally phones people Trump knows and says, will you call him and cheer him up? Say good things about him. I mean, you are so kind to me, Sarah, and you help me, and you help me with my business sometimes, and all this great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, he pays a hype woman
to walk around with him, to follow him around all day. If I asked you to be constantly on the lookout for good press about me,
oh wow,
and physically walk around with me,
oh wow,
and call everybody I know to have them phone me to tell me
how great you are,
how great I am?
Oh, wow.
You're my best friend. Wouldn't you sit me down and have a talk with me?
Yeah, that's that's wow. I can't even what
Yeah. Just think about that in your own life. Does he know? Yeah, because it's one of the things that infuriates him. Because he sees I should have had this great victory because I'm a narcissist and I think I'm a medieval king that everyone should bow to. And that everyone should be loyal to me to the death, and I don't have to be loyal to anybody. Narcissism, ain't it grand? Well, yeah, actually, grand. Yeah. Anyway, but times they are changing, and there's a lot of legal stuff, and Democrats have successes, and there's more and more stuff where, like, Trump's taxes have come out and all this kind of stuff. Oh, and I want to share with you a couple of things about Trump's taxes in a minute here. A couple of things I found out you may find interesting.
Okay.
So yeah, I think he is looking at the. I think he is looking at it, and it infuriates him. And then his poor little flunky has to go find more bloggers or people on Rumble or the crazy lady with the orbs who was quitting QAnon and was saying that she would no longer share the ET messages, but the orbs had come to get her to convince her to stay, and she was it was dust.
Was dirty. Yeah. It was dust.
Her house was very, very dirty, but she says they were orbs, and they were sent by Q to convince her, as she was telling him to. And it's one of the most, talk about the swear jar. We don't have enough money for the swear jar for that one.
Julia asked if his ringtone is "How Great Thou Art."
Actually, because I was raised Catholic, you know, and I've got two sisters. One of my sisters, and I won't say which one, used to joke around because quite often one of people's favorite songs to leave church singing, like the last hymn, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, right? My sisters would, because we'd kind of start starting to pick up our stuff as we were singing, you know, because it's the last hymn and everybody's kind of moving toward the exit. And so my sister she'd turn and she'd be like, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with her.
Cute.
It was very cute. Anyway. Oh my gosh. Okay. Shall we talk first? Sorry. Because I wanted to. I remembered something about Trump's taxes.
That's what I was going to say before we go on to our last political question that's not about Trump. Let's have a little chitty chat about the taxes.
Yes, because if any of you listen to Chicago's liberal radio station, on Saturday. The Hal Sparks Show. There's a lot of good stuff on liberal radio, but the Hal Sparks Show, Hal has been reading Trump's taxes. He ran across a couple of things.
Oh my.
One of which was for one of the years under charity. So money he's given to, so what he's given to charity. There are different lines, different things listed.
Right.
There's like money you've given, cash, a check, cash, check, whatever, but you've given money, or you can give like material things, donate your old car or something like
Clothes,
that.
Goodwill, things like that. Yeah.
Right. And then there is I can't remember the exact term, but it's like non-material something.
Non-tangible.
Non-tangible. That's it. Non-tangible charity, which
Mhm.
would be Trump showing up somewhere.
It's like if you donate hours to like the Boys and Girls Club or whatever, like if you're volunteering doing something. I'm surprised he didn't try to write off his whole hush. But what?
The money, the goods thing was, let's just say, not generous.
Mm-hmm.
The non-tangible tax write-off for that year, $26 million. How
much do you think he charged to throw that one roll of toilet paper in Puerto Rico?
26. Okay, there are 12 months in the year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more than $2 million a month that he thinks he wrote off $26 million.
I don't even have.
Yeah. Yeah. I just
Like
want to
Harry
make sure
Potter, the audacity of this. So yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I have to remember what else. But there's some stuff in those taxes that are, as much as it hasn't really hit the news fully, it hasn't like been the bombshell that we wish it was. There's some very hinky stuff in those tax returns. Very hinky. But anyway. Yep. Kathy Rollins, so why wasn't this an automatic trigger for an audit? For anyone else, it would be. Corrupt IRS? Well, yeah, there's an underfunded IRS, dramatically underfunded.
Yeah, I mean, you've read on this before. They literally like gave one dude boxes of papers and said, "Here you go." And I need help. No, you're good. It's been declined. You can do this. And that poor guy, like they did not pay him enough for that mess. So, I mean, they got what they paid. And I mean, if he quietly quitted while doing all that, then good on him. Because I would not. You're gonna.
Anyway, I just thought you'd want to know.
Yeah, that's wow. Exactly. Like a girl purposely underfunded IRS. Mnuchin oversaw the IRS and denied it. Yep.
Wow. Rob D says he took it on the Mnuchin.
Yeah,
that was good, Rob. That was good.
Okay, so we have one last political related question today at 53:45. This high key, not low key, high key amused me. So Steve Bannon was asked about his 2023 plans last night, and he noted that he'll probably have to fit whatever plans he makes around his federal prison stint. Yeah.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you for granting us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So is he actually going to serve? Is he actually going to, all talk aside?
Feels like it. I'm getting walking into a phase full of really bad energy, and jails and prisons have terrible energy.
Yes, by definition.
Yeah, and I can hear clanking of metal
Yay.
doors closing. Hermit. That would be a yes. 7 of Cups. 6 of Cups. 2 of Cups. This is not the only problem he's going to have. He's under state charges for fraud, and that's what was that line in Back to the Future, or maybe it was the sequel. I think it was a sequel when, or no, it was the end of the first movie when he saw his uncle. No, he went back and, yeah, that was it. It wasn't the end. Back to the Future, he goes back in time and he sees his uncle he won't leave the like a crib kind of area. And he leans down and says, "Get used to those bars, kid."
T. Mm-hmm.
And he did it to himself.
Yes. Made the bed,
told-
fluffed the pillows, picked out his thread sheet count, the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so Stevie three shirt is Stevie three
Mm-hmm.
shirt better get used to them bars.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if you raise money for something, give it to the something.
Yes. Yes. One quick second. All right.
Oh, wait,
now,
one more thing. Mel is saying, live from Leavenworth, Kansas, in the war room of the My Pillow Fort, Steve Bannon's prison podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hobo Bannon, says Carol. Yes.
So now things are going to take a little bit interesting turn. The Daily Beast this morning had an article, and the link is in the description box, about whether or not the Virgin Mary was actually a slave. Sorry. Where they're coming from this is that, for those who know, the original translations into Hebrew and then everything else, some of that was done from ancient Greek, just because different part of, and Luke was originally done, if I'm reading this correctly, in Greek, in ancient Greek. So hang on one second. How could we think that Mary was enslaved? Well, the answer is that she says as much. The gospel that provides the most information about Mary is the Gospel of Luke. When the angel Gabriel appeared to Mary in Luke 1 and told her that she would conceive and give birth to a son, Mary responded by identifying herself as a doule. I'm butchering that translation. I know I am, but D-O-U-L-E, a Greek word that unambiguously means enslaved girl. That is Luke 1:38. If we were reading any other ancient text written in Greek, we would assume that Mary was enslaved. Now, that it was not translated as such. However, bear in mind that when the masculine form of enslaved person, doulos, D-O-U-L-O-S, is found in the Gospel of Luke, it has consistently been translated as slave. So this would have been done purposefully. They list a couple of other things, but the thing that stuck out to me is that as a slave, your children are born into slavery. In the ancient times that they lived in, at around age 30, men could buy themselves out of slavery. When you read the Bible, we see little Jesus, baby Jesus going to the temple, whatnot, and then we see nothing until he's 30, when he starts his own ministry. No, not doula, doule, D-O-U-L-E, not doula. Sorry. Yeah. So.
And slavery was very common.
Yes, slave, especially of Jewish people. Yes.
So was Joseph a slave?
Well, let's see what else it says. Because we stumbled across this article like right as we were getting ready to go on.
Nancy says the Catholics are clutching the rosaries right now. CC Ryder says I would cross-reference this Daily Beast report against skilled biblical scholars.
Well, it's calling into question over 6 different scholarly texts and books written by professors and other peer-reviewed articles.
It's citing them?
Yes.
Or it's questioning them?
Books. It's citing them. No, it's citing them. The books that and everything and whatnot. So yes.
So Jesus, there's a real chance that Jesus was born a slave.
Yes, when the author of the article says, when I asked her, meaning the woman who compiled this latest book from all these articles, what her work means for our understanding of Jesus, author says that this lens situates Jesus at the bottom of the society into which he was born. He lived in stigmatized flesh like so many other people during his lifetime and beyond, including Black people, people of color, poor people, immigrants, and so on. This Lucan interpretation for many marginalized peoples and peoples whose ancestors were enslaved. This means that God did not save or exempt his son from that which God did not exempt or save our ancestors. So, it goes on to say, even with this pastoral takeaway, some readers might still be shocked by the theory. They may prefer to see this language as, quote, just a metaphor and feel that even raising the possibility of, quote, real enslavement is blasphemy. If that's you, then you don't have to come around to this point. Many scholars, full disclosure, I'm among them, hold that the Gospel of Luke is historically removed from events in the life of Jesus and thus isn't a great source for the specifics of his life. But it is worth asking yourself, why are we so horrified by the possibility that Mary, and by extension Jesus, was enslaved? To put it bluntly, we have better scriptural evidence for Mary's enslaved status than we do the idea of her perpetual virginity, her traditional blue attire, or her doctrinal status as the mother of God. It does not mention Joseph. So, yeah.
Yeah. Kathy Della says that makes so much sense if you are as infused with empathy as your guiding principle. It's true. Now, shall I make Catholics and Christian scholars really lose their minds and draw some tarot cards on it? Do I need the comment section of my video to be aflame?
Sandy asks, is this part of Pluto digging up hidden truths?
It could be, but I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't know what to look at. Maybe the Catholic Church chart. I don't know.
I don't know. But I mean, the thing about it is that this isn't like a Dan Brown novel. This is like actual, and it fills in some gaps because I mean, there's many people who have wondered, where was you don't hear anything. Jesus is just doing his thing from time he's like yay big till
30.
Yeah.
And don't they make a point of him being 30 when he starts his ministry?
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, we're guessing. No, they're like 30.
No, 30, yeah.
Julia says, sure, make Pope Benny flip in his coffin. Bless.
Well, if nothing else, it's interesting to ponder on.
Yes.
And then Sure, it's worth at least 3 cars.
Yeah. 2,000 years later, although technically it would be 1,990 years later.
Something like that, yeah.
Because it would be around ballpark 2030. It'd be 2,000 years since Yahshua of Nazareth started his ministry. Kelly says those missing years were always problematic. Mm-hmm. Darren says the word virgin in the Greek means a woman unto herself, not owned by any man. I'm not a scholar.
It was just interesting. And the link also lists where they're getting their information, where they're pulling it from. So,
Otherwise, woman says, why read on Jesus' possible slave status when there was no solid proof that he existed? I'm just going to see what I get. That's... Just don't tell my mother. I'm kidding. She'll see the headline.
Yeah.
Does it matter, Frida Smet? I think it would matter in a good way. Because it makes you, if it's true, it would mean he really did understand the poor, the downtrodden, he understood the equality of mankind. Even if you don't believe he was the Son of God, if you just think of him as either a prophet or maybe you just see him as, a good dude, he got it because he lived it.
mm-hmm.
And he understood. Well, the card for the reading is this lovely six of cups. Okay, let's see what I got here. Judgment. Yes. My comment section will be El Fuego, and I will probably lose some... I probably will lose some subscribers over this, but I'm... Six of Wands, victory. Eight of... Oh. Here's a question. If Mary was enslaved and Jesus was born a slave, why would the early church have hidden that? Because slavery was still ongoing and they saw it as nobody of importance could be a slave. Everyone who's a slave deserves to be. El Fuego. This is the card of enslavement. These are secrets. This is a victory card, but this is a victory. This is like the Romans did this a lot, this kind of thing. Part of the system. Well, then the question is, who owned them? Which makes me want to hurl just saying that out loud.
I don't know if I can mentally go down that road.
Right, but think about it.
Yeah, that's something.
Because chances are Joseph was a slave. Would have if Mary was a slave. Chances are Joseph was a slave. But who owned them? Romans?
Probably. Or, and the article goes on to say at the time, most Jewish people were owned by either Romans or rich Jewish people. They enslaved their own people. So that's...
Well,
Okay.
I was getting cards of Rome.
Yeah. Well, Amy says,
Oh,
hi,
gosh.
Autumn. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, please send prayers to my dad, Daniel. He's very sick in the hospital, hoping for a miracle. Divine Spirit, bless Daniel. Pour your divine energy down onto him for health, improving his health, making him strong and healthy, vibrant. Comfort him, comfort his family. Bless. So, on that note,
Right.
something to consider.
Yes.
Something to consider. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I've never been trying to convert anybody to like tarot. I'm certainly not going to try to convert you on what you should think about a man who lived, or some people say didn't, but a man who ostensibly is the word I'm looking for, lived 2,000 years ago. So it is something to consider. And if it's not your bag, I understand. If it is your bag, I understand. I do not have a dog in this fight. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, not to end on that note, can we get a couple of cards on an overall for 2023?
Sure. Happy New Year. Trish says, not me, Autumn. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Linda Johnson says that's why they were ordered to go to Bethlehem to be counted.
Mm.
Now I've got a way in a manger stuck in my head. Anyway, 2023. I wish I could say it feels like just smooth sailing the whole year, but it doesn't. It doesn't necessarily mean it'd be bad. It's just there are a lot of planets changing signs, big outer planets changing signs that don't change signs that often, and temperance. That's what we need. Kindness, temperance. Just be a good person. Just being a good person, just keeping your vibration high, just by doing your best, just the basics. Do the best you can. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to the people around you. Don't get sucked into the drama. Stay away from drama if it's wasting your time. Yeah, that's a good lyric. Thank you, Green. And it's amazing how just doing the kind of adulting, the basics. It isn't even just adulting. It's just doing the basics that kind of put things in order can save you from a lot of grief. And that's what it feels like. Just, if you can get a little bit of maybe have like, I have some shelves in my basement. I don't have it like huge, like ongoing, big thing down there, but I do have a stack of shelves, and I have some extra, protein powder and some, so if I run, and even I have like an extra thing of vegan mayonnaise or ketchup or something. So if I run out of things that are shelf stable, I can just go down and I can just grab one, and saves me a trip or all this kind of stuff, or having something delivered. But just having, just a little bit of savings, just a little bit of a cushion, a little bit of some basic things stored away, an extra thing of toilet tissue. We know that's a good thing to have. Do you have some insurance that you could technically afford, but that you've been putting off? Maybe you should get it. I mean, That's what this is feeling like. Just and as my Cuban American in-laws say, sana sana, sana sana. Anyway. Artist sculptor 1776, you might want to lock the comment section when you post this. Not sure it is fair to Autumn to bring this up live. This should have been discussed with her in private. With what? Huh? Thank you, Dave. Cosmic Coat Lady says, if they were that staunch a Christian, they would not be watching any tarot channel. That's true. Kelly says, dang, I guess I'll put clothes on today. Stay away from drama if it's wasting your time. I've got that lyric going over and over in my head. And there will be drama. But you don't have to be in it. This is a big change. Pluto going to Aquarius starts kicking up all kind of Aquarian energy, not Capricorn energy. And it's going to be a whole different focus, and it's going to be tech heavy focus. It's going to be about humanitarianism. It's things are shifting, and that's okay. The vileness on the right, they are shouting into the void, because what they're saying, even when they're saying the heinous things that 5 years ago made us upset, now it's like Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is absolutely a waste of space. She thinks she can do the big bad Trump thing, and she's going to be, Marjorie Trader Green as well. We're going to be big, we're going to be bad, we're going to break the rules. Who cares? Get a life. It doesn't have the same impact it had. There are a lot of secrets that are going to come out. And at the end of the day, our previous president is a stinking moron. And the people who organized and did their best to have an insurrection in our country 2 years ago were idiots. And apparently they couldn't organize their way out of a paper bag. And unfortunately, there are people who suffered and died that day. But it's not because the organizers were doing such a great job. Because they weren't patriots. They weren't decent human beings. They were a disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing for the year. Stay away from drama if it's wasting your time. Sana, sana. Stay calm. Stay calm. Get your own house just neatly in order. Not like harshly, like...
Right.
You will clean you will organize the, No, it's not like that. Just stay calm. Roll with it.
Stay cool, honey bunny. Stay cool.
Stay cool. Stay cool. I like that. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us. I'm sorry, you were breaking up. I couldn't hear you.
No, I was just going to say that's going to do it for us. I was agreeing with you. Yeah.
We saw, we stirred things up. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. And speaking of stirring things up, speaking of stirring things up, everybody who is in the potential storm path thing for tomorrow, make sure you pay attention to your weather forecasts and get your supplies sorted if you need it, and take care of yourself. Don't be caught unawares. Be safe.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, take care. And it is 1:37 p.m. here in Chicago. At 3:30, we will be over on the Creative Sprints channel. Are you going to be there today?
Yes.
Miss Sarah? We're going to be over on the Creative Sprints channel. Bring your creative project. It can be absolutely anything. It's not just a writing channel. Right. It can be knitting, can be writing a newsletter. It can be anything at all. And we just focus on our projects every day and move forward on them. Other than that, I will be right back here tomorrow. I'm here 365 days of the year. I have not had a day off in
a hot minute.
2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So
been
April of 2020. 2 years. No.
Almost 2 years. No. Anyway, it's been a second. It's 2020.
2020.
It was before the Panini Press. It was before the pandemic. So
2020. It was in 2020, April of 2020. So to 2021, that's 1. 22, it's 2. To 3. So yeah, it's 2.5 years. Here we are. All right. Take care.
It's been a minute.
Yes, true. That, and taking off for kitty stress is not a vacation. That is true. Those 5 days were not a vacation. So yeah. All right, everybody, take care. You are not alone. We are in this together, and there are good days ahead. All right, hang in there, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.